Hi, my name is Eric Fournier from Université Laval in Quebec, Canada, and I'm going to give you a brief overview of the EmbryoGENE platforms. The EmbryoGENE platforms are two microarray-based platforms for the study of the bovine embryo. Both platforms have the same general flow and can be used in parallel using a single sample. EmbryoGENE provides SOPs which have been optimized for the sparse starting material conditions prevalent in embryonic studies. First, we have the transcriptomic platform, which uses the MPV3 microarray and works very similarly to the most other microarray-based transcriptome assays. Secondly, we have the epigenetic platform, which is a bit more complicated and based on methylsensitive digestion and negation-mediated PCR. Basically, you have your genome with methylated and unmethylated cytosines. First, that genome is digested using the MSC1 endonuclease to yield a predictable set of fragments. Then, adapters are ligated to those fragments. Those fragments are then subjected to methyl-sensitive digestion, which causes unmethylated fragments to be cut while methylated fragments are left intact. Finally, the fragments are subjected to ligation-mediated PCR, and only the uncut fragments are exponentially amplified. The abundance of fragments is then measured using the NMR microarray. One of the main draws of the EmbryoGENE platforms is their comprehensive, fully automated analysis pipeline, which we call EMAP for EmbryoGENE's Microarray Analysis Pipeline. The results of both a transcriptomic and an epigenetic experiment can be analyzed in parallel, and EMAP will generate lists of expressed genes, methylated regions, differentially expressed genes, and differentially methylated regions for both experiments. EMAP can then integrate both of those lists into a combined analysis which seeks coordinated transcriptomic and epigenetic changes. Additionally, the epigenetic results are subjected to an in-depth enrichment analysis to determine if certain categories of genomic regions show increased changes in methylations. At each step, EMAP generates plots to help users interpret their data. First, we have quality control plots, which assess the completeness of the genomic digestion, the efficiency of the methyl-sensitive digestion in differentiating methylated and unmethylated fragments, and the overall distribution of signals. Secondly, we have plots showing the overall levels of methylation, comparing it between tissues, and showing how consistent methylation patterns are across replicates. Thirdly, we have plots showing the distribution of the differentially demethylated regions with a volcano plot and a Venn diagram. Then, we have enrichment plots showing the relative proportion of DMRs in various categories of genomic regions, as well as the direction of hypermethylation within those categories for both tissues. Finally, we have a circular genome-wide graph integrating the results of both platforms. It has 5 layers. The first 2 layers show the results from the epigenetic experiment. The next 2 show the results from the transcriptomic experiment. And the final layers show concordant changes, that is to say, genes where the methylation goes up and the expression goes down, or vice versa. Up to now, 40 projects have been carried out using the EmbryoGENE platforms, leading to 11 published papers and a database of over 850 microarrays. Now that both platforms are ready for wide usage, our next challenges will be to make the data within this database available to the public. To this end, we are currently building search functions into the database and have started prototyping meta-analysis features. Here, we show an example of the kind of gene profile we hope to provide in the near future. It shows the various embryonic stages for which we have data, the level of expression of a gene at those stages, the networks in which these genes take part at each stage, and the list of past experiments where this gene has been identified as being of interest. This concludes the overview of the EmbryoGENE platforms. Thank you very much for your time and interest.